Hey, today's episode is brought to you by Audible.com, which works perfectly with the 2018 reading challenge that I've been doing, if you've been following along. If you go to popcornfinance.com/audible, you can get your first audiobook for free, along with a 30-day free trial. One audiobook that I just finished listening to that I think you'll enjoy is called Out of Spite, Out of Mind by Scott Meyer. It's a really fun mix of fantasy, sci-fi, and a little bit of time travel thrown in there. So if that's your thing, I think you really enjoy it. So visit popcornfinance.com/audible to get your free trial today. Hey, this is Chris. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to Popcorn Finance, where we discuss finance in about the time it takes to make a bag of popcorn. And thanks for joining me for this special bonus episode. This past Monday, I released the episode with Gene and Parker from the Creators Group, and I had such a great time talking with them. I decided I just wanted to air the rest of our conversation. So this is part 2. And if you didn't catch Monday's episode, you missed out on a lot of great things like this coming this summer. That's all I got.
Nice.
That's all I got.
It was good.
So if you want to figure out what that's all about and hear more about our conversation talking about college, the role it played in our lives, and hear about how Gene and Parker got to where they are career-wise, taking completely different paths, go check out Monday's episode. It was episode 81. So today's just going to be the back half of my conversation with Gene and Parker. We're going to pick up where we left off. Gene was just getting ready to talk about, what it's like growing up with parents who immigrated to the U.S. and dealing with those expectations when it comes to college and your career choices.
But yeah, not every parent is able to really support it like that and really understand it. I think it's especially for example, my family is immigrant family. It's interesting because immigrants take huge risks when they come to this country they have literally $5 in their pocket and they leave everything they know to a country where they don't know the language or they don't know the society or the mannerisms or anything like that, right? Yeah. Just scratch zero, right? So it's weird because they are such a risk taker, but then when it comes to their own children, they don't want them to make those risks. I had a hard life and I worked so hard so you didn't have to.
Yeah.
Right? And so I think they think the risks we take as entrepreneurs or people who are not taking the conventional routes, to them it looks risky. Well, it's also partially because of reputation and social implications and things like that. But usually they come around once you become famous or successful. So just becomes famous and successful and you should you'll be fine.
That's it?
Okay. Yeah, that's it. Just that's it.
Easy.
Absolutely.
What about you? What was your support system like growing up and all that?
It was funny hearing you say about you're having come from an immigrant family. So you're first generation born here.
Yeah,
then?
I was born here. Yeah.
Thinking about for me from the black perspective, it's almost an immigrant story in itself because my parents both grew up extremely poor. They didn't have anything, and they both left where they lived and came out to California. That's how I ended up in California. That's where they both decided to go. And it's kind of like the same thing where they're my mom was the first one in her family to ever go to college. My dad never went to college, and so they both were even though he didn't go to school, he's we both worked really hard to put you in a different environment. So you can
go to school.
Exactly. So not so you can mess up, but so that you can go to school, go to college, get a good job, and then not have to work the jobs that we had to work or deal with the stresses we had to go through. And so for me, they were very supportive, but they had expectations. But I was a horrible student in high school because I was just lazy. So
there we go. Right there.
Yeah, right? I feel you on that one. So, but they still were supportive, even though I was a horrible student, because I somehow made it into college. I still don't know. I wouldn't have gotten to college now.
Yeah.
But 10 years ago, I was good enough to get into college.
Yeah.
And they've been supportive. They let me go in as an art major, which was crazy. So they were they were cool with that.
There you go.
Even though they would say things like, "Don't you want to get a job?" But they still let me do it. But
don't be a starving artist.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it turned out just fine. I mean, I'm sure they were just really scared, and it's well, we work so hard so that you could go to college, and now you're saying it's not even necessary. Yeah. Isn't that interesting? So yeah, it's I think times have just changed that much.
I think so.
Yeah.
Even just in the past decade, it feels like the attitudes towards college have definitely changed. And although I think it's still a good thing, I think it's still good things to learn. I'm not like shooting down college and saying you shouldn't go, but I think just think critically about it.
Yeah.
You know, go to art school for a year, come out, then you can think critically about things and then decide what you want to do.
Absolutely. And then take a gap life. Yeah.
Art year, gap life, you're covered. You're going to be set. You're going to have
All
much insight. So.
Find yourself everything right there.
Absolutely.
But no, I appreciate you two sitting with me and talking
Thank
about
you.
this.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. We really
This was
appreciate
fun.
it.
You guys were so cool when I was in the room with you guys talking, doing the video. That was like, oh yeah, we should talk some more. I think this will.
Let's do it again.
Yeah, for sure.
And then see where he is in his gap life.
I know.
Yeah.
Probably still be there.
You roll into a gap retirement. You just
Exactly. Gap retirement.
Tell me how that goes.
We'll get there. We'll get there one day.
All right.
So I always give people the opportunity at the end. If there's anything you have going on or any way people can kind of follow you and keep up with what you have going on, please.
Yeah, so we're rebranding 80/80 Rule to Creators Group. So you can follow us on Instagram at Creators, CREATORS Group, and it's just GRP. We couldn't get the whole word, so just follow us at GRP.
You got to make it work.
Yeah, exactly. Just we're gonna own it.
That's Instagram life,
Absolutely. So follow us there, and then we have some really interesting content, I think, and we get to interview some really interesting people, and we like to create media content for just a whole bunch of different interesting, powerful companies.
Oh.
So
you do an excellent job. I
hope so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And Parker, you anything you got going on? You have some cup second videos we can find on YouTube?
I don't know if those are
yes.
still up. I'll show you when we cut off, maybe. But no, I would just second what Gene said pretty much there. I'm a part of these guys now, so I'm fully behind their vision, and I'm proud to be a part of their team. So we're all one right now.
Your
so
team.
Let's keep it that
It's
way.
part of your team now,
Yeah.
not our team.
Our team.
You guys are a great team. I feel the chemistry.
Well, thank you. I'm really proud of them.
Yeah. Great team. Good job.
Well, yeah, thank you again for having us, though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It
Appreciate
was
it.
a pleasure.
Thank you.
Anytime. Thanks again to Gene and Parker for joining me. It was just completely spur of the moment. We had just finished wrapping up a video that they put together for Popcorn Finance. And if you want to check that video out, you can go to my About page over on popcornfinance.com or check out Popcorn Finance Podcast on Instagram. And I just posted it recently, so it should be up there towards the top. I think it was just really fun. They're very open, very cool people, and I appreciate them spending a little bit of time with me here. And again, this episode wasn't about whether or not you should go to college. This is more so just us having an open discussion about our experiences. So obviously I think college is a good thing because I went to college, but it's not for everyone. There's so many paths you can take in life to get to where you need to be. So that brings the Popcorn Finance Back to School series to an end. I want to thank all of you for joining me throughout this whole series. And if you came in midway, just go to popcornfinance.com/back-to-school and you can check out all of the prior episodes in this series. And a big thank you to all of the guests that came on throughout this series. So thanks to Wayne Weber from The Gift of College. Thanks to Pam Andrews from The Scholarship Shark, Cody Berman from Fly to Fi, Robert Farrington from The College Investor, and then lastly, Gene and Parker, who you just got through listening to right now. I appreciate all of them giving their time and sharing a lot of great information. This was a really fun series to put together, and I'm just really happy that I got a chance to meet all of these individuals and talk to them and have them on the show. I am also very excited for what's to come next. So on Monday, I'll be releasing a very special episode that I recorded live at FinCon. I had the opportunity to sit down with Chris Hogan, and many of you may know his name already, but if you don't, he's a national best-selling author. He's an amazing speaker. He has a great voice. If you haven't heard him speak, just look up on YouTube Chris Hogan, and you're gonna know right away why I'm saying he has a great voice. And on top of that, he is part of the Ramsey Solutions team, which is headed by Dave Ramsey, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with that name as well. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you do that. You're going to want to catch that episode when it comes out on Monday. Tell your friends, tell your family. It was a really fun episode to record. I think you're going to enjoy our conversation. So as always, I appreciate you joining me here for the multiple bags of popcorn that we've had over this series. I hope you have an amazing rest of your week, and I'll talk to you soon.
Your boy keep it poppin' like Mary Poppins.